India and Nepal. India and Nepal, again, the relationship has been on and off. It has been a roller coaster ride for India and Pakistan for quite some time, especially after 2015, when there was a blockade, and then China has gone to, Nepal, Mr. KP Oli has gone to China, and Nepal has joined BRI, and now China is building a lot of infrastructure along Nepal, India-Nepal border. China is too much into Nepal, so economic angle. So because of these things on and off, there have been certain ups and lows in India and Nepal relationship. But what has been there, current time पे क्या हुआ? The current time पे जो सबसे important thing was, one thing was when India, after the abrogation of Article 370, India came out with the new map, and there it has shown Kalapani region. Kalapani जो आपका एक region है, which is a disputed region between India and Nepal. So it has shown Kalapani as a part of India, and where we say that it's a part of our Pithoragarh district जो आपका उत्तराखंड के पास में Kalapani है, तो it is our part, and they say that it is their part. We will talk about Kalapani, and so they raised the voice, and then in this year, that is 2020 May, what India has done is India has constructed a link road between Lipu Lake and Dharchula. Dharchula और Lipu Lake के बीच में जो है हमने एक link road create बनाया है, so that it is a time reducing road for the pilgrims who are traveling to Kailash Mansarovar. So again Nepal has raised the voice. It has said that how can you make a road in our region? We are saying that no, we are not using your region. This is our region. We have done it already. We are doing it in the pre-existing routes only. We are not encroaching into your area. So that was a kind of a issue between Nepal and India. One was your Kalapani, when we came up with a new map in November 2019, and May 2020 लिपू लेक से धारचूला की जो हमने लिंक रोड बनाई, then also नेपाल जो है raised the issue, and it was so much of the issue became so important in Nepal that people came out on the streets in Nepal. They came out in the streets, and even the questions were raised. There were a lot of debates happening in Nepalese parliament against the India's move, and the opposition and the ruling party, everyone stood united against India. So it became a somewhat major issue between India and Nepal. Now, what is this Kalapani? Kalapani is a region which is claimed by India as well as your Nepal. Now, why both the countries are claiming the region? Both the countries are claiming the region because there are different maps. So let us talk about what are the border issues, quickly talk about what are the border issues between India and Nepal, and this Kalapani region, why it is so important, what is its strategic value to us, and then we will talk about what are the measures we have taken, and what are the ongoing things that are happening to bring back the relationship to normal. So everything is happening in the current, so we will talk about it. So this Kalapani region is just near the tri-junction of India, China and Nepal. So it's like a Doklam tri-junction. This Kalapani region is very important for India. It has a lot of strategic value to India because यहाँ जो है आपका China का एंगल आता है, LAC आता है आपका, ठीक है? तो it's a tri-junction. So strategically it is very important for India, and since 1962 our ITBP forces, Indo-Tibetan border forces, are guarding this area, and Nepal is now not happy that it wants that the Indian forces should be removed from this area because this is our region and Indian forces have encroached on our area. So this is strategically very important, आपका जो Kalapani region है, because it's a tri-junction. And 1962 war के बाद, since then our ITBP is guarding this area against the Chinese attack in this particular area. It's a tri-junction, so they can come to India through this route. And again, this became very, very important, because at the time of Doklam standoff, if you could recall, one of the major officials of your Chinese army, PLA, he has commented that China can easily come into India through POK or Kalapani. So this is a point from where China can encroach. So that's why strategically this region has lot of importance to India. Now, what is this issue? This Kalapani region, there has been an old treaty between British India and Nepal. So British India and Nepal के बीच में 1816 में एक treaty हुई थी, जिसको we call it Sugauli Treaty. So according to that treaty, this is a western boundary of Nepal. This treaty, according to the treaty, this Kalapani is the western boundary or the border of Nepal. But this treaty did not clearly talked about the various ridges. It did not clearly talk or mention about the ridge lines of this region. So what has happened over the period of time, some of the surveyors are showing it in part of India, some of them are showing it in part of Nepal. The issue is with respect to the origin of your Kali river or Mahakali river. So ridge lines आपकी properly defined नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो क्या हो रहा है कि some of the maps are saying that the source of Kali river is in India, some of them are saying that the source of Kali river is in Nepal. So that is why there is a dispute. They say it is our part, we say it is our part. Similarly, there is another area where we have a challenge or where we have a dispute is your Susta region, जहाँ पे आपकी नारायणी river और गंडक is called Naraini in Nepal. So there also the river over the period of time has changed its course. So some of the area which was once in Nepal has come into India's fold. So again there is a dispute. आपका जो ये दो region है, Susta region and your Kalapani region, these are the border disputes between India and Nepal. And another thing to be understood is, like, this is not the first time that Nepal has raised the voice. India and Nepal has been talking about the boundary issues since 1960s. But what is the current reality? Now the current reality is, after your, now initially it was monarchy in Nepal, but now it is democracy in Nepal. Even the Nepal is exerting its democratic rights. Nepal is also like any other democratic country, it is using all its options. Now it is not only dependent on India, China is also there with Nepal. And after democracy, after becoming democracy, it is using all its cards. So now it has become very, very vocal about the border issue. It is said that India and Nepal का जो border है, it's a open border. We have a treaty of 1950. So what is this open border? This India and Nepal, if you go back to the Sugauli Treaty that we have just talked about, 1816. 1860 में this treaty has delineated the border between India and British India and Nepal. उन्होंने this border का demarcation किया था 1860 under the treaty. But Britishers जो demarcate किया था इन्होंने boundary, वो boundary जो थी इन्होंने बहुत ही concrete से नहीं किया था. It was not a kind of a complete solid boundary, hard boundary नहीं बनाई थी. इन्होंने सॉफ्ट बाउंड्री बनाई थी. लगभग 900 पिलर्स जो थे इन्होंने वहां पे इरेक्ट किए थे. एंड दीज वर एडहॉक काइंड ऑफ अ बाउंड्री. आपके सेमी कंक्रीट के जो हैं पिलर्स, 900 पिलर्स, इन्होंने पोरस बाउंड्री बनाई थी. व्हाई ब्रिटिशर्स कंटिन्यूड विद द पोरस बाउंड्री? बिकॉज वन थिंग वाज कि व्हेनेवर ब्रिटिशर्स रिक्वायर्ड, दे कुड ask the Nepali soldiers to come and join the British army. They could easily recruit the Nepali soldiers to come and join the army. So that was one reason. Another was your economic. They wanted that the British goods should easily go to Nepal. So porous boundaries थी. And at the same time, वहाँ से जो आपका forest का जो resources था, timber था, that could be easily brought to India. So they did not go for a very hard border. They went for a soft border. border. And in 1950, we had a treaty of peace and friendship and we continued with this open border. हम अपना open border लेके चलते रहे because this open border is something which is giving the uniqueness to India and Nepal relationship. India and Nepal के relationship, because of this open border we have a very close socio-economic cultural relationship which is beneficial for both. It's not only for Nepal, even for India. हमें भी वहाँ जाके trade करना, investment करना, वहाँ से जो है हमारे पास जो है hydroelectric power बना के हम लेके आए. So this open thing has brought the two countries very, very close. But of late we have seen that this open border has also created problems to India. We have seen that how this border has been used by Pakistan ISI to send your counterfeit currency into India. Arms का smuggling हो रहा है, इसको criminals use कर रहे हैं इस open boundary को. आपका illegal immigrations हो रहा है इस boundary से, आपका human trafficking, child trafficking, gold smuggling, so many things, anti-social elements. Then there was a time when we had that Tirupati to Pashupati corridor, red corridor was there. ठीक है, आपके जो Maoists थे. So that is, this open boundary has been, or this open border has been creating a lot of problem. So in 1981, a joint technical level boundary committee was formed between the two countries. Joint technical level boundary committee was formed between the two countries. And this committee got dissolved in 2008. And this technical committee has delineated almost 97% of the border between India and Nepal on your strip map. Strip map में इन्होंने जो है आपका 97% जो border है उसको delineate कर दिया, उनको जो है mark कर दिया. But 3% is left. So this 3%, why they have left? Because they are saying that this is beyond our scope. हमारे scope से बाहर है delineate करना. And this 3% includes your Susta region, this 3% includes your Kalapani region and some of the other smaller regions. 15 किलोमीटर का एक छोटा सा patch है, वो भी इसमें include होता है. Now, why it is beyond their scope? What is the issue here? The issue is that we are not having the old maps and documents. हमारे पास कुछ areas के बहुत पुराने maps and documents नहीं हैं. And then there are some areas which are cross occupied, means इधर भी occupation है, उधर भी occupation है. तो उसको clear करने के लिए we need the old maps. And then there are various British surveyors reports are there. In some of the surveys the same area is shown in India, in some of the surveys it is shown in Nepal. So because of this, no clear maps or different maps talking about different areas differently, so it is becoming a problem to delineate the border between India and Nepal. And then apart from this, another problem which is there is in our mindset. As the Chinese influence is also growing in Nepal, and that too your BRI and infrastructure projects are there in across Nepal, across India's border in Nepal. So we are a little bit skeptical to trust Nepal. ठीक है, तो ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि हमें बाउंड्री इश्यूज जो है हम उसको इजीली रिजॉल्व नहीं कर पा रहे. एक तो हमारे पास मैप्स नहीं है, तो हम बैठ करके आपस में नेगोशिएशन करके वी कुड डू दैट. बट द थिंग इज माइंडसेट. हमारे माइंडसेट में कहीं ना कहीं वो चाइनीज एग्रेशन इन आवर बॉर्डर एरियाज इज ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्टिंग. सो वी आर नॉट एबल टू ट्रस्ट नेपाल कि वो जो भी कह रहा है वो अपने लिए कह रहा है, ये on behalf of China it is talking about. So that is something which is very, very important. That is very important, which is not letting the resolution of this dispute. And then another thing is जो आपका 2015 there has been a Lipu Lake agreement between India and China, where they have agreed that Lipu Lake would be used as a route for enhancing the trade or business between the two countries. But this region Kalapani is a tri-junction region. Lipu Lake के पास में ही Kalapani है. This is a tri-junction region. So Nepal was not consulted on the issue. So that is why Nepal is raising the voice. So these are some of the issues with respect to India and Nepal border issues. And very recently there have been news items in the, there have been some news pieces in the recent times which have shown that there is a kind of a Chinese aggression, or China is also capturing some of the areas of Nepal which the Nepalis are not happy, with which Nepalis are not happy, they are revolting. So this has, I think, has also brought the two countries now together. Now we have seen that all the issues which were there after this pandemic, after this COVID, after the help that India has provided to Nepal during this COVID times, and then diplomatic level talks have been going on simultaneously to resolve the issue. Now we see that there is some kind of a peace, not we can say permanent peace, but yes, for the time being the issue is going, we are talking, negotiating the issue in a very peaceful manner. And currently, even today our army chief is there in Nepal, and yesterday he got the honorary rank of General of the Nepal Army. So that is a tradition which has been there since 1950. So it is Mr. Naravane, Naravane is there in Nepal, and hopefully we are going to find out a solution to India and Nepal issues. Now, another thing that we need to understand is that now Nepal is a democracy. So we have to respect that. And second thing is, we cannot always say that China is there, China is there. Why China is there? Why we are not there? So whatever we have promised, connectivity projects, infrastructure projects, we have also to finish our projects on time. We also have to deliver the things on time. Just sitting and saying China is there is not going to help us. We also have to act so that the other side start believing on what we are saying, what we are promising. And recently that Raxaul Amlekhaganj oil pipeline, which was inaugurated between India and Nepal, it's a very very healthy sign. जो आपका oil pipeline हुआ है, आपका अमलेखागंज वाला जो pipeline है, रक्सौल अमलेखागंज pipeline, which is very important, और इसको हमने बहुत ही कम time में we have finished and we have implemented this oil pipeline. So we have to be very fast, we have to be very quick, and we have to understand the demand of the requirement of Nepal, and accordingly based on that we have to go for the development projects in Nepal. So this is about your India and Nepal relationship. There might be a question, and again I would say that this question, India Nepal ka jo border dispute was in the news, so you might get a question even in your internal security, maybe you might get a question from India Nepal border dispute. It's not only important for your IR but also important for internal security, because if you see last year's 2019 internal security question paper, a question on India and Myanmar border issues was asked. So this time you might be expecting it in paper 2, they might ask you it in paper 3. So the question could be, I have just tried to frame a question. Explain the recent border issue between India and Nepal. Explain the recent border issue between India and Nepal, where you can briefly explain what is the border issue. Kalapani wala region ka issue, it's a tri-junction, strategically important. They say it belongs to them, we say that it belongs to us. So that was the issue. Now examine the various challenges. Sub question to this question was, explain the recent border issues between India and Nepal, then examine the various challenges currently emanating across the India-Nepal border. Also discuss the steps to counter the challenges. Similarly, last year the question was, examine the various challenges currently emanating across the India-Myanmar border and also discuss the steps to counter the challenges. So this time it could be India and Nepal. Explain the recent incident, and then what are the border issues between India and Nepal and what are the steps that have been taken. So we can discuss these things. Now, after Nepal, let us talk about Bhutan. Bhutan में भी अगर आप देखोगे तो nothing much has happened. During COVID times, we have provided it all the support which it needed. All medical assistance was provided by India. And another thing which was one line fact is, like, for the first time this year in June, 2020 June, we means India and Bhutan, we have signed a pact for the construction of a 600 megawatt Kolangachu joint venture hydroelectric project. So this is what was with recent जो important है with respect to Bhutan, कि हमने जो है कोलागाचू हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो हमने फर्स्ट टाइम जॉइंट वेंचर किया है, और दूसरा कोविड टाइम्स में वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड देम सपोर्ट. बट ऑफ लेट व्हाट वी हैव ऑब्जर्व दैट इवन इन इंडिया एंड भूटान रिलेशनशिप, दो भूटान इज one of the countries which has not one of the countries in the neighborhood which has not joined BRI yet. But Bhutan is again very important for us strategically because of the Doklam, because of our chicken's neck corridor. So if China comes very close to chicken neck corridor after doing a give and take with Bhutan in the Doklam region, it would be dangerous for India. So that is why Bhutan is very important strategically. This Doklam region जो है हमारे लिए बहुत ही important है. And apart from that, what we have also seen in the recent past is that Bhutan has now Bhutan is also a democracy. Here also the youth is now demanding a change. It's no more purely monarchy. Here democracy is there. They are also utilizing all their rights. They are also utilizing all their options. So even now we have seen that Bhutan has, in a subtle manner, it has told India that we do not now it is good for us if India does not only provide aid, rather India starts investing in Bhutan. And when we have done demonetization, when we have brought in GST, there have been issues raised by Bhutan as well as Nepal. So that is what is with respect to your India and Bhutan.